BFF Podcast, your home for the best fantasy football podcast, period.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
In this episode, Eric and King discuss their updated rankings at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. Make sure to check us out on Instagram and Twitter at TheBFFsPodcast for the updated hard copy of our rankings. They will be available within the next couple of days at the quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and tight end position. You're going to want to print those out and take them to your drafting party so you know exactly who to draft. There's also a mock draft at the end of this episode, so make sure to listen all the way through. And any errors or mistakes that we may have made, they were all Eric's fault. So without any further ado, football starts next Thursday. So let's get this podcast rolling. Rip it and rip it.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. We are back once again. The best fantasy football podcast, period. We're here once again live. My name is Eric. With my main man Alex over here.
Hey.
He's been gone for about 7 years in Colorado.
8 days, Colorado.
He's now back, so welcome back.
We're back, and we're going to give you some information.
Oh, yeah. So we're just going to give you some numbers, basically kind of after week 2 and 3 of preseason, kind of who's moved up, who's moved down, a little reasoning why. And then we will post sometime this week basically our running back, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback rankings. That way you guys can see it going into your drafts this weekend. So we'll shoot that to you guys via Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Right, Alex? What's our Twitter?
Twitter and Instagram at the BFFs Podcast. And yeah, we're just basically going to give you a hard copy, something to look at, something you can print off. Just when you take to your drafts, see who we like. We can give you both Eric's and mine, and probably a consensus as well. So we'll mix the two together.
Or if you like one of us more or something, you just go with all.
If you
one person
like the sane person, make the sane choice.
That's right. Where do you want to start with today? You want to go running backs?
Let's do running backs.
Yeah, okay, all right, running
That's
backs.
the most volatile for me. It moved a lot.
Yeah, I have a few moves, a few reasons. Go ahead, give me your couple top moves.
Not too much going on in the first 5. Basically the same as before. Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, and Melvin Gordon. I ended up moving Gordon up 2 spots. He was 7 for me, and then I flip-flopped Todd Gurley and Zeke. The only reason for flip-flopping those two is Todd should be great this year. I mean, he's going to have a hard time reproducing what he did last year, but Zeke Elliott losing that really good center of his to an illness, and they're not really sure on a timetable for him to return, so that's not going to help him. It's going to hurt him, so I'm flip-flopping those two. Still like Zeke this year.
I also flipped Zeke. I had him 3. I dropped him all the way to 5. That offensive line is looking like who knows what. That's basically the only reason that he was great is because of that. Zach Martin, right guard, knee injury. Tyron Smith, hamstring. Collins, calf/illness. Then Frederickson, like you mentioned, is going to miss some time with being diagnosed. That whole offensive line is in shambles.
Yeah, and that's the problem is you could plug anybody in, and they were just dominant. DeMarco Murray dominant, right. Zeke Elliott dominant. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, so I dropped him. The only thing it could benefit him is maybe instead of running, he might catch a few more balls. But
yeah, they talked about that.
I dropped him to 5. I put David and I put Kamara in front of him. So and I almost put Melvin in front of him too. I almost dropped him all.
Yeah, I almost did that too.
That would have been kind of crazy.
Because Melvin's going to be that workhorse. He's going to be the guy no matter what, and nothing's really changing
balls
for him. And yeah, he's a massive pass catcher. So.
I agree. I don't know. I don't know what to do with Zeke. I almost at the beginning before preseason, I almost had him number 1.
Yeah, he's going to be the focal point of the offense still. So that's why he's still in the top 5 for me at least. He's RB4. So. It's a little concerning, but
kind of crazy dude. So, you got any movement on 6 through 10? Or
yeah, this is the big movements. RB6, I put McCaffrey. Oh my goodness, guys!
Yeah, that's my guy.
RB6 McCaffrey.
That's my guy.
RB7 Kamara. 8 is Saquon Barkley. 9 is Fournette, and number 10 is Kareem Hunt. So my big moves here are McCaffrey. He moves up 3 spots, and Saquon is actually moving down 3, and Kareem Hunt also moved down 2. McCaffrey, he's the workhorse. C.J. Anderson's there, but they're using him for everything.
All day.
For everything.
All day.
And we told you after preseason week 1, we'd watch and see what happens week 2 and week 3, and they continue to use him no matter what. I mean, it's a little concerning that Cam Newton does like to run the ball on the goal line.
He does.
But,
he does like to keep it himself.
But he's going to get so much work that I have no fear at RB6 for McCaffrey.
Yeah. So, if you guys have listened to the podcast, I love McCaffrey. I had him at 7 when ESPN had him like at 17 or 18 or something crap like that.
He's still way back there. We did a draft yesterday and got him in the 3rd round.
Really?
Yeah.
ESPN already has him at 10. So 10, not full overall, but 10 at 10th running back.
Yeah. So he's moving up, but
he's moved up.
I'm way higher on
him. So the only thing I have actually that moved up. So I have Melvin, Christian McCaffrey at 7. That's where I've had him at the beginning of the season. Fournette, I moved him up.
I moved him up a little bit too.
So just because of injury to Lee, I think Fournette's going to be used even more.
Lean
than
on
he was
him more.
Before. So
and he's looked good this preseason.
So I moved him up. I moved Hunt to 10, and then Barkley is at 9 for me. So Hunt's still in top 10. I'm not loving Hunt this year. I think they're going to be behind a lot. That defense looks awful.
Yeah, I moved him back. I moved him back too as well.
Watching every game,
it's just he's not going to have a chance to get anything going. Their offense is never going to be on the field. KNC Chiefs play that bend don't break defense. It takes 17 plays and like 3/4 of a quarter for the other team to score, and they will score every time. So the second half of the game, Hunt's not even going to be doing anything.
And bend don't break, except they break. So
they bend until they get to the red zone, and then they end up breaking.
And then they break. So it's pretty much garbage defense over there. And who knows? I mean, they didn't start a lot of starters for the preseason game, so we'll see how that helps them out later on. But I moved Hunt to 10. I almost wanted to move Freeman above that too. So. So we'll see. I might update it, tweak it a little bit more before we send out the rankings to you. But as it stands right now, Hunt is in the mix for being out of the top 10 for me. So that's really it for me, top 10 movement-wise. Do you have any other movements in the running back position?
Yeah, I have pretty much good movement all the way down to 20.
What do you got?
11 through 15. I got Collins at 11. He moved up 3 for me. Joe Mixon at 12. Lamar Miller at 13. He moved up 5. Wow. Jordan Howard at 14. And Dalvin Cook Miller? At 15. He moved down 3.
What's your love with Miller?
We've been waiting to see what's going to happen with Deontay Foreman. And Miller.
Foreman's garbage.
Yeah, so Foreman he was supposed to be his breakout season this year. The Texans were thinking about getting rid of Lamar Miller in the offseason. They ended up not doing it. He came to camp looking healthier than he's ever been. And Deontay Foreman is supposed to start the year on the PUP list. So there's 6 weeks of Lamar Miller being the only guy besides Alfred Blue, and that guy's horrible.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Watson back. Defenses are going to have to be watching him, and it's going to open up a bunch of holes for Lamar Miller. I moved him up 5 spots. I just feel with that news that Deontay Foreman is probably going to start the year on the PUP list. I think he's a solid top 15, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, Foreman is going to start on the PUP list. He's got torn Achilles is what he had. So who knows?
He's having a rough time coming back. So they're not going to rush him. They might as well just lean on Lamar.
Suit up. So who knows how long he's going to be out for? I think they want to eventually have Foreman as their back. So, but you're right. Miller's going to be the guy to go to at least for the first half of the season, I believe. So
that's good enough. And if you can get a good guy for the half the season, then you'll figure out something
15,
else behind them.
I feel 15. I don't know. I feel like
pushing it.
I just feel at 15 because I have Collins, I have Howard in front of him, I have Kenyon Drake in front of him. So I got Royce Freeman in front of him from Denver. I think he looks great. And then I have Lamar Miller. So I have him a little lower than you. I have him at 19. You have him at 15. So have a little bit. So do you have Jared
McKinnon at 13
behind him too?
13.
Oh, you have him at 13?
Yeah.
Oh my! Wow. So who's behind him? So who's 15?
I got Howard behind him because it appears from these preseason games he's not going to catch the ball. They told us that he's working on his pass catching and they're going to involve him in the passing game this year. It does not appear to be the case. He didn't get targeted, and Tariq Cohen got targeted 3 times. So I don't believe Jordan Howard is going to be worth anything in PPR. I mean, he's going to be worth something, but I just feel like Lamar Miller is going to put out more than he is. Dalvin Cook, he got one series in this preseason, and he looked not great. He's only 11 months out of his ACL surgery, so I don't love him either. He scares the crap out of me. I'd rather have.
But he's high everywhere.
Yeah, I'd rather have him.
You look, he's high up there, man.
I'd rather have Lamar Miller than Dalvin Cook, to be honest. Because he scares me. He just scares me too much to waste that draft pick on him.
Okay.
I also have Devontae Freeman back there. He's old. I have him at 18. He's old. He scares me. He's trending down. They have Tevin Coleman there. I can't.
Wow.
I can't afford a Devontae Freeman where he's going.
Freeman all the way back?
Yep,
Wow,
he's 18. I have Deion Lewis and LaShawn McCoy ahead of him. Everything I've heard on LaShawn McCoy has said that he is not going to get in trouble till 2019.
2019?
Yeah, so he's going to play this entire season.
Get out of here.
He's going to play this entire season. He's going to get all the volume. Yeah, he's on a terrible team, and yeah, they have a terrible offense and a terrible offensive line, but he's going to get the volume to be a top 17 guy for me at least. And Deion Lewis, freaking Derrick Henry is the guy starting, but Deion Lewis is getting more work and more touches, and he's being way better. Like I told you from the beginning of the year, Derrick Henry is horrible. Deion Lewis is a stud. If Deion Lewis stays healthy, I might reach on him more than RB16.
No, Deion Lewis is not. He can't. He's not the every down back. He can't be the every down back.
He's not going to be. What they're going to do is they're going to start Derrick Henry, and they're going to feed in Deion Lewis, but Deion Lewis is going to get 20 touches, and he's going to be dominant. He's going to be dominant.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't love either guy. I don't love Henry or Lewis because of that reason. I think they're going to split way too much time, and then I don't know. We'll see.
think Deion comes out strong and just holds on.
Yeah.
And then I have McKinnon at 19 and your boy Royce at 20. Royce has been very impressive. I put him at 20, and then when I wrote his name down, I was like, oh, man, maybe I should have put him higher up.
Great. Again, it's preseason, so sometimes you're going against defenses that are second string defenses.
Yeah, but he looks
so
good.
It's hard to know exactly how good the people are going to be. So we're educated guessing on some stuff.
Highly educated guessing.
Highly educated guessing. So we'll see what happens. I don't know about McCoy. I am very questionable on McCoy. I'm
taking him.
I honestly have him outside my top 20. So.
I'm taking him when I can get him. But then I have your boy.
You can get him in first round. You're going to get him in first round? Second round? Third round?
Kenyon Drake. Where do you have him at?
Kenyon, he's 17.
So I have him at 21.
So, I mean, I don't have him super high.
I guess not. I thought you had him higher.
No.
But, yeah, he scares me, too, because they're saying that he's going to split carries with Gore, and Gore's going to play a lot this season.
Okay, I'm sorry, but Gore is dusty, and Gore's not going to play a lot.
I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like him now.
I can tell you a lot of stuff. I can tell you this guy is, purple.
I know, but you don't like Deion Lewis and Derrick Henry because they're going to split carries, but then they have
But there's a reason, because
reports
Deion Lewis
out.
and Henry are both going to get quality carries.
But Henry is garbage.
Gore is going to get...
Derrick Henry is garbage.
It's all hearsay. Get out of here.
He's not hearsay. You can see the numbers.
Right,
He's horrible.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Am I saying Lewis is going to be behind Henry by a lot? No.
You say he's going to be behind Henry at all?
Like...
Touches wise, yards per carry.
No, not touches wise. Do not think he's going to get... I think... Because they have to start out by running, right? Deion Lewis is not going to be the runner. Correct? So
I think they split. I think they
split 50-50?
I say they split for like the first half, and then Deion Lewis takes over in the second half almost every single game.
So you're saying you think they're going to be down? Are you saying they're going to be down, so that's why Deion Lewis is in?
No, I think they're going to realize they're not going to win with Henry.
But I'm saying if you're ahead, you're not going.
I don't think they're going to be ahead that often.
Are they ever going to be ahead?
Yeah, at some point. At the start of the game, they'll be tied.
Is that a guarantee?
That is a guaranteed lock. They will start 0-0.
We have our first king lock.
Guaranteed.
So Henry, last year, statistic-wise, ran the ball 176 times, 744 yards, 4.2 yards per carry.
Yeah, but like 3 of his carries were 90-plus yards or some ridiculous stat when the game was over and nothing mattered. They were up by like 50, and they handed the ball off to him at the 2-yard line. He would run a 98-yard touchdown, and it would just be pointless.
He did have a few of those big ones. And then the year before that, first year coming in, that he played 110 carries, 490 yards, 4.5 yards per carry. So I think his yards per carry are good. If that stays up, I don't see how Deion Lewis is going to... If he averages 4.5 yards per carry, I don't see how Deion Lewis is going to be there.
I think through half the year, he'll be like 3.5 at the best.
You go ahead and write that down, someone.
Right,
someone, please, that's listening to this, write that down.
I'll write it down.
And then about 3 weeks in the season, when he's at 4.5,
goodness gracious,
he's got to drop.
If he's at 4.5,
so I didn't have a lot of too much movement, I guess. I dropped McCoy all the way to 20, 21 actually. So I moved Collins, Freeman, Miller. I moved all those guys up 1. So they just kind of slid up while he dropped down. that's about the only movement I have there. I like Kerryon Jones for Detroit.
Johnson?
Moved him up.
Kerryon Johnson?
Kerryon Johnson. Why did I say Jones?
What do you got him? I got him 31.
Who? Kerryon?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I have him 24. I have him real high. I know ESPN has him at like 35. So that's I'm reaching for him. I think it's going to be big. Look, he is going to be a 3-down back. He's going to be there for running. He's going to be there for passing. Detroit is not going to be winning a lot of games, and they're going to have to come from behind. So my guess is he's going to be getting some catches as well. So we'll see. He's looked pretty good in the preseason.
Yeah, he's very efficient.
So,
I like him.
Yeah, so we'll see what he ends up with.
I like him, just not 24th.
Well, it's good. I like him at 24. By the way, pew, 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 Kerryon.
Laser pick prediction.
Kerryon is going to be 24. I already had my laser gun prediction, and now it's no longer laser gun because now Christian McCaffrey that I had 7 where everybody else had 17. Now everybody's catching up to me. So that's kind of dirty by everybody. But anyways, so we'll see where it goes from there. Anything else you have going on further down? Did you put
Not really.
Adrian Peterson anywhere?
I didn't put him in there. He's worth a late round draft pick as a flyer if you got 2 solid running backs already. I don't have him in there. I still have Chris Thompson really high just because of how efficient he is.
See,
I don't.
That's what I
Adrian
dropped.
Peterson is so old.
He is.
He's not going to be
good in that game.
And that's what happened last year. Is he would play one game, he would get 30 touches, he'd be wildly efficient and look great, and get like 2 touchdowns and 100+ yards, and then the next game he'd be so old and tired, he'd get 10 carries for 8 yards and would be terrible.
But I think with Chris Thompson, I think what'll happen is he's not going to get that 30. He's going to get 20 carries. And then be able to still have 20 carries next week. I think when you run Adrian Peterson 30 times, you're looking for him to go.
I don't know why they did that. That was crazy.
Get injured. So so I threw him in there. I threw him at 31. Just I don't know. Who knows?
Because you like him.
I do. I love AP all day. Also a note on Chubb. He's now looking good.
Yeah, I put Chubb at not Chubb. I put Hyde at 34. Actually, I think he moves up quite a bit because of how bad Chubb is.
Oh, Chubb was. What are you talking? He was great last preseason game.
No, hate Chubb.
So Chubb watching that game, by the way, actually watching that game live, and he looked amazing. Okay, so he had a 21-yard run that he ripped off after his first carry. Looked good. The only negative runs he had is because when he got the ball in his hands, a guy was already tackling him. Like, he barely grabbed the ball, and I was like, oh, no, there's a guy in my face. So the carries that he has that are bad is because there's no one to block for him, because as soon as he gets the ball, somebody's smashing his face in. That's why.
Well, he's on that team, so then he's not going to be very good.
Carlos Hyde isn't going to be.
I have him at 34. I'm not going to draft him.
I'm just. What do you mean you're not going to draft him later? If you're looking for a wild, you're not going to draft Hyde. So
I'd rather have Chris Carson and Peyton Barber.
Oh, Peyton Barber. You like Peyton Barber?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, Peyton Barber actually looks good. He looks a lot better than Jones in the preseason at least. So
yeah, Ronald Jones is garbage, and so is Rashard Penny. You're both your boys.
No. Rashard Penny is.
They're both
going to
horrible.
be the man.
He's not.
Going to be available for week 1.
It doesn't matter.
He's going to be available for
Chris
week 1.
Carson is going to destroy him.
You'll see. Chris Carson's not going to be the long.
Oh my goodness. I mean, he's not going to be the long-term guy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, so he's going to be the good for like 2 weeks, and then they're going to move on with him.
I'd say 5 weeks.
So you're going to draft a guy for 5 weeks of the season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't
you could draft him. You could draft Mark Ingram. You put in Chris Carson, then you drop Chris Carson. You put Mark Ingram into your flex spot. You're fine.
That doesn't sound like a solid play.
That is a completely solid play. Chris Carson's averaging like 6 yards a carry.
Hey, it's okay, man. If you're playing for the regular season, it's one thing, man.
Yeah, I won back-to-back championships. I play for the championship. It's okay.
You play with like 7 blind guys and 2 deaf guys that don't even know what they're doing.
And I still win.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's all I got, though.
Yeah, so running backs, that's about it. Nothing too crazy. Once again, we'll post our numbers.
Yeah, we'll give you a hard copy.
Yep, coming to you. So move on to wide receivers.
Let's do wide receivers. I don't really have many movements in the top 10, really, of mine. My wide receiver rankings are out there on YouTube right now, so you can go check that out. Really, my 5 and 6 kind of flip-flop to have A.J. Green at 5 and Julio Jones at 6. I mean, the top 4 are Antonio, Keenan Allen, Odell Beckham, and Michael Thomas. So I guess Odell and Michael Thomas flip-flop too. Odell just got that monster deal. So
Yeah, 5 years, $95 million, 65 guaranteed.
So I feel like they're they're gonna use him. So
yeah,
I flip-flopped him and Michael Thomas, and then I flip-flopped AJ Green and Julio Jones. AJ Green just his last game, four catches, 50 yards and a touchdown. I mean, it just classic. It's classic AJ Green. It just wasn't sure how that offense was gonna roll out, and it looks like they're still gonna use him as the guy. So I'm going to head and move him up to 5. That's it for my top 10, really. I mean, I have Devontae at 7, Hopkins at 8, Mike Evans at 9, and Baldwin at 10. Hopkins obviously is low. You can go watch our and listen to our previous podcast to see why I don't like Hopkins that much this year, but he did not move. He is still at 8.
Wow, yeah, you do have Hopkins live. Hopkins at 3. Odell again, 4. I didn't really have a lot of movement. The only thing I really note, I have Cooper as number 8 for me. Which is a lot higher than everybody else. I also have Landry as my number 11, which is also crazy high.
Oh my goodness!
So, that's my pew 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 pew. So you can
laser gun prediction.
Laser gun predictions. That's where they're gonna finish. Love Landry. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be great for him, especially with we don't know what's going on with Josh. He's now coming back. One thing I will say about Josh Gordon is that I hope that he comes back and he does well, because if he comes back and is a top 15 or top 10 like you were talking about at one point in time, it's going to be a great story. Come back with all the troubles that he's had, anxiety, all this addiction issues. Guarantee if he's in the top 10 wide receiver this year, that next year
be a great it'll be a great story as well.
He'll be ESPN on ESPN, E60, whatever. He'll be on there. So cheering for him to do good. Even though I don't have him in my top 10, 15, even I have him as number 20. So you have any moves outside the top 10, 15?
11 through 20, I got T.Y. Amari is 12, so that's another laser gun prediction that I have him way higher, but you have him higher than I do, so it doesn't really matter.
So your laser gun just got shot down.
Diggs.
Your laser guns are gone.
How do you shoot down a laser gun?
Like, boop, boop,
you shoot down laser guns.
It's gone. You have no laser guns.
Fair enough. 13, I have Diggs. 14, Hill. 15, Fitzgerald. 16, I do have Josh Gordon. I actually left him there. 17, Demaryius Thomas. 18, Tate. 19, Corey Davis. And 20, I have Landry. So you have Josh Gordon at 20, and I have Landry at 20.
Yeah.
No major moves there. Diggs moved up 1, Hill moved up 1, and Fitzgerald moved down 2. Just a little concerned with the offense for the Arizona Cardinals and Fitzgerald. He'll still get his catches, but Hill has looked fantastic. Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes, they have this chemistry together, and the Chiefs are going to be down this season. So I'm sticking Hill in there. I think he's going to be great. I only moved him up 1, and I moved Diggs up 1 as well. But Diggs is looking good as well, and so does Hill. So no major moves at all.
Yeah. I was down on Hill where he was getting drafted. So
yeah, you have to pay a pretty price to get him, but maybe he'll come out.
He could, and I don't know. And I still have Sammy Watkins high, who has looked horrific through the preseason with Holmes. But I agree 100%. That's why I think I have Hunt moved a little lower. I think they're going to be behind. I think they're going to have to throw. I think there's going to have to be a lot of deep throws. So I moved both of them up to from where I had them before. I still have Watkins above Hill. So I have
madness.
I still have Watkins above him. I still believe that he's going to be the better PPR receiver. So what I think Tyreek Hill is going to have, he's going to have games where he's going to have 140 yards and a touchdown because he catches an 85-yard bomb.
But with Mahomes in the game, with Mahomes playing now, he's catching a lot of balls per game. He got 8 of 8 targets.
I understand that.
That's a lot. I mean, that was going against Chicago's number 2 defense, but 8 of 8 targets. That's not our wild Juju Smith-Schuster who's catching 3 balls for 110 yards and a touchdown. This is 8 targets, 8 catches.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I'm not persuading you at all. Not at all.
It's kind of a weird.
You're not wavering at all.
It's kind of a weird offense that they're going to be in this year.
He's sticking to his guns, boys.
But I like Watkins. I'm going to stick with Watkins. That's the way I'm going to go.
Madness.
Madness is correct. So I really didn't have too much change. I more and more liking Denver's receiving core as well. I think with a good running back and Freeman, I think that's going to open up a lot of stuff, one-on-one coverages for Demaryius. So
D. Thomas.
I think he's going to do a lot better.
Where do you have him at?
So I have him at 15.
All right. Yeah, I have him at 17.
But I thought about moving him up. I just couldn't move him above Baldwin, which I had Baldwin one above him, and I couldn't move him above Fitz yet.
There's so many good receivers that it's hard to make a move like that.
It is a ton of good.
Like how could Demaryius Thomas do better than Fitzy, Diggs, Amari Cooper, T.Y. Hilton, Baldwin, Mike Evans? I mean,
it's insane.
He'd have a great year to outdo those guys.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of stuff. So my only real big move is actually further down. I like Hogan even more. I just don't see. Okay, so they have no receivers now. New England literally just let go.
Eric Decker gone.
Decker retired. So one of two things. Watch out for Dez because he might end up in either Jacksonville or the Patriots because he still doesn't have a job. So that could take away a little bit. But I love Hogan right now, especially for the first 4 weeks and moving forward. I think, honestly, listen to the podcast about week 4 of the season because I will tell you
listen
about 100
every
times
week, guys.
that Edelman.
Don't just tune in on week 4.
I'm just saying, if you tune in week 4, you will hear me say about 10 times that Edelman needs to be in every daily fantasy draft on week 5 because Tom Brady will throw him the ball 42 times.
Yeah, but he'll only catch like 10 of them.
That's okay. 10 catches. That's a great game.
I just realized that as it was coming out of my mouth, 10 catches would be amazing.
I will take it. But I have Hogan moved up.
Where do you have him?
I have Hogan at 22.
Dang. I have him at 27 just because he's not going to stay healthy.
Yeah.
He just scares me.
If he does, he's going to have amazing numbers. And then I have Funchess at 25. I move Funchess a ton.
Why is that?
Okay, so I love Carolina's offense. And now that everybody's going to be concentrating on McCaffrey, which I still love McCaffrey, and they also have no other receivers out there. We have the rookie
Greg
DJ,
Olsen,
who's going 160
DJ
miles
Moore,
in
116
4 mile per hour zone
in a school zone.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. DJ Moore. Oh my god.
But they have no other actual receivers. Now, tight end, yes.
Greg Olsen.
Yes, they have Greg Olsen.
McCaffrey.
But, again, McCaffrey's going to be used more in running / passing. Funch is going to get all one-on-one.
McCaffrey's going to get a lot of targets.
He is. I agree. Look, I have
Cam Newton is going to throw the ball to himself.
Cam Newton is definitely not going to throw the ball to himself.
You cannot predict that. You cannot guarantee me.
I will guarantee that
Marcus Mariota
did it one time, but it was against the Chiefs, and we have a horrible defense.
Do the Panthers play the Chiefs this year?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Lock him in on daily if that's the case.
Lock him in. So Funchess last year, 63 catches, 840 yards, and 8 touchdowns, and that's with Kelvin Benjamin, and that's still with Greg Olsen.
Only half the year.
With Christian McCaffrey, but all the same guys are there, and now he's the legit number 1 with.
But Greg Olsen got hurt.
That's true, and so did Kelvin Benjamin. They both got hurt.
Yeah, so then Devin Funchess went ham, and now Greg Olsen's back.
I'm telling you what.
All right. Pew, 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 laser gun prediction.
I don't know if he's, if where he's at on ESPN leagues, Funchess is, but I have him.
I have him at 39.
39. That's a little excessive, don't you think?
Well, there's so many good receivers. It's impossible.
And that's the problem.
It is impossible. I was writing this up.
Sanders behind him.
I was writing this up, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, it's hard to believe how many receivers there are." It
almost makes me feel like you have to go back-to-back running backs in the first 2 rounds. That's what it makes me feel.
Yeah,
like.
Once you drop off of that, because when I was writing this up, once you drop off that like 20 mark, everybody's got issues.
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah. So Funchess is 32 on ESPN leagues. By the way,
I got him at 39.
Just FYI, but I have him at 25. So, that's that. Wide receiver wise, I don't really have any other movement. Do you have anything else going forward?
Not really. I got Juju Smith way back. Nothing really that intense though.
Oh, what do you think about? Because Lee, by the way, update on Lee. He is out for the rest of the year.
Oh, I have it as wide receiver 40. I'm a little. I have Keenan Cole. Keelan Cole, and then also Moncrief was apparently the guy. But Keelan Cole is listed as the guy who's going to step in, and who's that other guy they have? D.D. Westbrook is from all the reports that I've read so far, they said that he is definitely behind Keelan Cole, but from the game, it looks like Moncrief was the go-to guy. But I mean, that's Jacksonville's offense. It's kind of scary. That's why I have kind of for wide receiver 40, I wrote Jacksonville depth chart number 1 receiver because you just don't know who's going to be, and that's what we've been saying this whole preseason. Basically, is you just don't know with this team.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why I moved Fournette up, just because I think they have to lean on him more. Yeah. So
does that help Osafarian Jenkins?
I don't. Maybe a little bit. I don't. Passes have to go somewhere now. So Lee gets in. He's out for the year. Knee. If anybody saw the game, that was crazy. Seeing that hit, and then they carted him off. And at first it was like, oh, whatever, it is what it is. And then it came back that knee gone. Have to basically surgery, season ending. So it sucks for him, especially because he was for the first time going to be the number one receiver. But they just have so many receivers right now, and they have that rookie, the DJ Chark, who apparently had great chemistry in preseason. So
he's the guy coming out of the preseason. He's getting all the reports that he's like the best looking guy not best looking, but the best looking wide receiver. I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
Wow.
But he is the guy. But then if you go look at it, everybody else is ahead of him. So it's like, okay, so wide receiver 4 on a team is the best one, but who's going to catch the balls? It's very confusing, and we've already kind of gone through the 3 preseason weeks, so we don't really have any more time to get a clarification.
Yeah, there's no clear
so
winner here.
Draft at your own risk.
Yeah, there's no clear winner here, but I guarantee you at least 2 of these guys, maybe even 3, will be on the waiver wire. So you got to be paying attention to that kind of stuff, especially after week 1, what's going on, what's happening. And then listen up, and we'll tell you what's happening. So, and Alex will also tell you who he thinks is best looking. Apparently, so,
I guess so. He's the
his,
best looking wide receiver on his team.
That might be his new thing. So we'll have a segment with Alex talks about best players.
Goodness.
So then we're gonna go to, let's see here, quarterbacks. Are you good with going QB already, or you have anything else on wide receivers?
Nothing too major on wide receivers. Just when I post my hard copy to Instagram and Twitter, you're going to see some crazy rankings, but they were already crazy to begin with, so nothing really changed.
So
I have all those, Jameson Crowder and Cooper Kupp, and just people that have good chemistry with the quarterback. I feel like people are ranking them way too low. You'll see when the hard copy comes out, or you can go listen to our previous wide receiver ranking podcast because I give you all the information there.
That's right. QB.
Let's drop into the QB.
What do we got? Aaron. Aaron's at number 1 still.
Yeah, I didn't change anything until QB 10.
QB 10. Okay, so who'd you move up?
I moved up Big Ben Roethlisberger to number 10.
Where'd you have him before?
I had him at looks like 13.
Wow. Okay.
So I moved him up 3, and the only reason for that is the speculation is that the offensive coordinator who's the brand new offensive coordinator, and that's why I'm so big on Bell and Brown this year, because the OC is probably going to lean on those guys a lot. But it says that the offensive coordinator is giving the reins over to Big Ben, and Big Ben likes to run more up-tempo offense. So that's actually good news for Juju Smith-Schuster listeners, because Big Ben might like to chuck it to him, and if it's out of the offensive coordinator's hands, Big Ben will take the risk. It's just not up to the OC. So I moved him up to 10 because I feel like he's going to fling the ball a lot this year.
Fling the ball. I like it.
I mean, if you're going to give the quarterback the calls, he's probably going to throw the ball more this year than he has. That's just my speculation.
Yeah. Alex has some crazy stuff. He has this Deshaun Watson. Like, what do you have him at?
I have Deshaun. He moved down to QB 11, so he's behind Big Ben now.
So he's now behind.
Go listen to the QB ranking podcast. Crazy. You will hear all my ranting about Deshaun Watson.
That's a little crazy in my opinion. I had Big Ben at 10. I'm going to keep him there at 10. I have Wentz behind him. I have Rivers right behind him. I don't know. I didn't really have too much movement. The only thing I would probably move right now is maybe get Cousins out of the top 10. I don't know. He has way more receivers than somebody like Rivers, who has one guy basically to throw the ball to. So when you have 2 quality receivers that you can choose who to throw to, it gives you a lot more options, I guess, especially when one is double teamed.
And so you want to move him out of the top 10?
Who's that?
Kirk Cousins?
I was going to, and then I couldn't. And then
because he has so many options.
Exactly,
and
he's got Kyle Rudolph.
And how Dalvin Cook has been looking, and they might have to lean on Kirk Cousins more than expected. And also another note on Dalvin Cook is they said they're going to use Latavius Murray quite a bit as well. So that's also why it scared me off of Cook a little bit. But we're on quarterback, so it doesn't matter.
so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're just confusing me there a little bit because you're like, I might want to move Kirk Cousins out of the top 10, but he has so many great weapons that
I couldn't. I wanted to move him down and move Rivers up and Big Ben up.
Rivers is 7.
I couldn't do it. You have Rivers. I have Rivers, but it's because you have Deshaun Watson out of this world for some reason. Why do you have that?
I hate him. You go look. You go listen to the QB Rankings podcast.
I have him at 7, and he's QB like 4, 5, 6, whatever, going in ESPN.
He's moving down actually, so that's not great news for me because I want somebody to reach on him. He was consensus number 2 when all this started, and now he is slowly moving down because he just doesn't look nearly as good as he did last year, which if you know anything about fantasy football, you would know that his performance last year is impossible to produce again.
Impossible. Well, I don't say impossible, but
definitely impossible.
It's definitely possible.
Carson Wentz, I moved him down to QB 15 too. It doesn't look like nobody knows. It's going to be a mad dash to the finish if he can get in there for week 1. I mean, I think it's like 15 days he has.
He's going to be ready for week 1, but they're not going to rush him back.
Yeah, I mean, he has like 15 days to clear physically fit, and then that gives like Doug Peterson, I think 4 days or something like that to decide whether he's going to play or not. So
yeah, I think they're going to take their time on it.
Yeah, it's too confuddled. I don't think Wentz is going to come back, and he's going to come back strong. So I'm having him at QB 15. I'm not drafting him this year.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that he's going to be there for the end of the season, and he's definitely going to be there for probably after like 2 or 3 weeks. But I don't think there's a reason for him to rush back. So I mean, Foles just won a Super Bowl, so I think they're going to take their time and kind of see what happens. So. Again, I have Matt Ryan at 8, which is insane.
I moved him up.
You moved Matt Ryan up
from 15 to 14.
Oh, whoa! Oh my God! If anybody's listening, oh my God, this is it.
Hold on to your hats.
Hold on, this is going to be great. I am all in on Atlanta. I think Atlanta is going to go, going far. I think they're going to go to. Honestly, I think they're going to win an NFC. I think they're going to be in the Super Bowl. So I think Julio Jones is a monster. Freeman-Coleman combination is great. Ryan's a good quarterback. They just drafted Ridley, who's amazing. So I just think they have too many weapons for them to not go far. So
you and your weapons.
I like weapons. I like a lot of weapons. If you have a lot of weapons, you're gonna get some good numbers. That's it for quarterback. I didn't do much.
It wasn't really much movement.
You didn't really see a lot of quarterbacks play.
Yeah, but the only thing is Patrick Mahomes is moving up a lot of people's lists, and it's because he had a great outing against Chicago where he threw for like 196 yards and a touchdown and had a great completion percentage, but that was against Chicago's number 2 defense, so I wouldn't read too much into that, and I would still most likely
70 of that was in one play.
Yeah, I would most likely avoid him still, even though he's moving up the list.
I think he is now 12 ESPN.
No, thank you.
I would again, if you're in a 10-team league, how often are you going to draft a backup quarterback? Not very often. So if you're in a 12-team league, he would probably be a guy that maybe, but I don't know if you want him as your starter. Like I would draft Patrick Mahomes if I had somebody like solid as my starter. So if not even like solid, but I mean if I had a decent guy as a quarterback, not Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady,
maybe a
Russell
Kirk
Wilson,
Cousins,
Cam Newton, Kirk Cousins.
Well, you're not quite sure.
Andrew Luck, not quite sure if he's going to make it through the season. Even though if he does, he's going to be a top 5 guy. You draft Mahomes. That's when you draft Mahomes. Matthew Stafford, if he's your starting guy, I don't know why he would be, but if he is, then you draft Patrick
don't be
Mahomes.
down on my guy Stafford.
He's okay. But again, you got to stay away from him being your starter and quarterback. He's going to be so up and down this year. It's going to be gross. So, at least that's in our opinion. So that's it.
That's just your opinion, man.
That's your opinion. That's all I got for quarterbacks. You got anything else on anybody else?
That's it. That was all I had.
All right, tight ends. You got anything on tight ends?
I don't really have much. I moved Jack Doyle down to.
Oh, you can't touch baby hands.
Yeah,
Don't
baby hands moved down
hands.
to tight end number 10, and
That
I
is
kind of
such a bad
paired him
call.
with Ebron. Ebron is actually scaring me quite a bit now. He caught all 5 of his passes, and they were all from luck.
Yeah.
And Jack Doyle only got 1. Not saying that that's much. You read into that much, but it is concerning that he does have such good rapport with Andrew Luck.
I don't
It,
think so.
it scares me on Jack Doyle a little bit. I probably will avoid him. He's tight end 11 in consensus, and I have him at tight end 10. I'll probably end up seeing a lot of Delaney Walker this year and end up avoiding Jack Doyle, and might even look at Ebron as a mid-season sleeper as someone to pick up if you're streaming.
Where do you have Njoku?
Njoku's still 11 for me.
Still 11? So, wait a minute. You just said what's name went to 11?
No, Jack Doyle's at 10. He's 11 for consensus.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay. So
And then that moved everybody up. You moved your boy Jimmy Graham up to 7, Ingram up to 8, and Trey Burton up to 9.
Gotcha. So I mean, I love Jimmy. Look, just like I said in the tight end quarterback podcast, I think this
Go
is
listen.
the year. This is the year that you go Gronk, Ertz, and then wait till round 11. If we have time, we might do a draft real quick. If we don't, we can always do it next week for you. Do another mock draft before the actual mock draft start, and then
We got time to squeeze one in.
Yeah. So
Let's do that now. Go squeeze into it.
and then go from there. So that's it for tight ends. Do you have any?
That is it. Everybody else stayed
Anything
exactly
else?
the same. I'm just from our talking, I didn't even think about it when I was doing the rankings, but Osafarian Jenkins has kind of piqued my interest a little bit more now that Marquise Lee is out for the season. ASJ, he might eat up some more targets. You never know.
Yeah, I have ASG at 14. Where do you even have him on?
He's on 20 for me.
20. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I had him decently high as well. So yeah, that's it for just kind of quick updates on who we liked, who we didn't like, and the reasons why. So. If you guys are looking for the hard copy, it will be up in about maybe a couple days. I think maybe by Wednesday. We'll try to get it by Wednesday.
We'll get it to you before this weekend when most of the drafts should be going on.
Yep, most drafts are going on this weekend. If you do have any questions, hit us up on Twitter. We'll respond to you if you already know your draft position and what you should do. And that's about it for that. King, do you want to do a draft?
Let's run a mock draft.
Oh, okay. What position do you want to pick? This is PPR 1.10.
Random position.
I like it. I don't even know. That's horrible.
That's bad.
Horrific. All right, and we are starting draft now, and it picked number. Ooh, we are number 6. I don't think we've done it.
That's
6.
horrible.
So David Johnson, Kamara, Bell, Gurley, Zeke next for us, basically. Wow, no receivers went off the board. So Antonio Brown is the next guy, but then you have Saquon Barkley, Hopkins. You don't want to take Hopkins right now? Is that what you want to take?
No.
You love you some Hopkins.
Man, we were talking about
Melvin Gordon.
We got
or
Antonio there, and we
Right.
love Antonio, but we were just saying how you should probably take
go
some
running
running
back.
backs. What do you think?
So you want to go Barkley? Let's just see. We're gonna do 2 running backs in the first 2 rounds, no matter who they are, and see how it goes. Does that sound?
Let's do that.
Let's do it. So we got
Saquon.
and Fournette, and then Gordon. Wow, Antonio doesn't go till
So
pick 9.
people are definitely pretty high on running backs this year because there's just no one out there.
Yeah. So Brown, Hopkins, Odell, McCaffrey goes.
Oh my
Second round,
goodness.
Wow, he went 12th overall. Kareem Hunt and Cook. Now it's up to us. And
It's up to us.
I know we talked about going running back, but right now we have Julio and Michael Thomas out there. We have to take one of those 2 guys.
Well, who's the running backs?
Next running back is Freeman.
God, that's
We
early for
cannot
Freeman.
go running back. We have to go wide receiver.
Oh, this
Julio,
guy
Michael
always going
Thomas
back
right
on
now?
his word.
Oh my God! How can you go 2 running backs? Again, this just shows you that you got to follow the way the draft goes. Well, I have never seen a draft where the first 8 picks were running backs.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown's always in the mix,
Should be.
and Christian McCaffrey. That's insanely early for Christian McCaffrey. This is a weird draft. But that's
why you
do it.
practice.
That's why you keep doing mock draft. So
Do
who
it.
Want to go Julio or Michael Thomas?
Doesn't matter.
I like Julio. So
I like Michael. I'm just kidding. I said I didn't
doesn't
care.
matter. Michael Thomas goes next. Freeman, Keenan Allen, Adams.
Ooh,
Rob
I would've-
Gronkowski goes
should've had
as the
Keenan
last
Allen.
pick in the 2nd round. AJ Green, Mixon, Evans, Ty, Stephon Diggs. Up to us. We have Jordan Howard, McKinnon, McCoy, Thielen. God, I hate the 6th pick. Literally, if I ever do any draft.
If he ever drafts, he does a fantasy
I'm
football
saying-
podcast, but yet he's not in any leagues and doesn't do any
Leagues I
drafting.
do a lot of. I'm just saying if I have the pick
Doesn't actually
5
play.
through 2-7. I hate it. It is the worst. I
don't mind it.
Very dislike the middle of the draft.
I like the middle.
I like to know what I'm doing. You can't know.
He likes to know what he's doing, guys. He has no idea what he's doing.
No idea.
Stop listening to him.
You pick,
Who's up? What are we doing? Are you just
guessing?
you're just drafting whoever?
Us. No, I'm not.
He's not
drafting
even
right
telling
now.
us who he's drafting. He's
we're
just going.
Waiting because the time's running. So I'm saying you can't plan on it. You just have these random runs of.
You have to
random
be
people that
better
you
at
go.
predicting. You have
No,
to predict
you
the
can't
trends.
You can't predict.
Yes, you can.
This is unpredictable.
I would
Nobody
predict
predicts eight running backs in the first round in a row. It doesn't matter.
I
All
would
right, so here we go.
predicted.
We got to do this. We got Jordan Howard, Jared McKinnon, LaShawn McCoy, or Thielen. Where do you want to go? It's your choice. I already picked the first two.
Who is it?
Howard, McKinnon, McCoy, Thielen.
Goodness. I wouldn't mind Howard.
Okay, Howard it is. All right, so we got
There we go.
Howard
So we got our
round.
2 running backs.
Tyreek Hill goes 3rd round.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about with Hill. Is he is
God,
going
it's
early.
just
In
so
order to get
early.
him, you got to pay the price.
You got it. Oh my God. So then McCoy, Thielen, McKinnon, Amari Cooper goes 4th round, first pick.
Wow.
Aaron Rodgers, first quarterback off the board.
There we go.
Royce Freeman is the next
Wow.
guy, and then Collins. So it's up to us. We have
Wow.
Doug Baldwin, Larry Fitzgerald. Ooh, your boy Henry's here, and my boy Landry's there too. So I mean,
Who's my boy Henry?
Derrick Henry.
It's not my boy. You can't do that.
You love you some Henry.
He says your boy Henry and my boy Landry. So does that mean that Landry's not his boy?
That's my boy. That's
But
my
you said
boy.
Henry's my boy.
I
He's
know,
not my
but
boy.
you know what I'm talking.
I'd go
about.
Baldwin.
You know what I'm saying. Baldwin, I agree. Baldwin's gonna have a big year. So I can't believe he's still there in the 4th round. So
You should not be.
Kelsey, Landry, Fitz, Henry, Juju, Drake, Ertz, Ajay, Lamar Miller just went. Deshaun Jackson just went 2nd quarterback
Wait,
off the
what?
board.
Deshaun
Deshaun
Jackson.
Watson.
Okay,
Deshaun
I was like,
Watson, sorry.
what is happening
Deshaun
in this
Watson.
draft?
Sorry, I'm looking over here and
What's the point of this draft?
I'm looking.
Oh my
You're like,
goodness.
what? So up to us. We have
It's
2
up
wide
to
receivers.
us.
We have 2 running backs already.
We are well balanced.
Demaryius Thomas, Golden Tate, Mark Ingram, Allen Robinson, Cooks, Gordon, Hogan. Man, there's not. I mean,
You want to take your boy,
which one?
D. Thomas?
I like D. Thomas. Yeah, I like.
That'd
him.
be a great
Let's
wide
do it.
receiver 3. Why
Yeah,
not?
That's a great wide receiver 3. We're doing it. We got Demaryius Thomas. Hogan just went. Gordon just went. Marquise Goodwin just went. Cooks just went. Tate.
Marquise Goodwin is going that early.
Yeah, he's.
I noticed that
round,
yesterday. His
That's
ADP
crazy.
is 100, but everybody's loving on him, so he's going like 6th, 5th, 6th round.
It's kind of crazy.
That's my boy. I have him.
I like
Wide
him.
receiver 20, I
like
believe.
him, but yeah,
22.
I don't know if I'd take him 5th round. Maybe
That's early, but
maybe.
if
Tate,
he
would you
is,
take him above Tate? I would
I
never
w-
take him above Golden Tate.
I think
That's
I would
horrible.
because of Kenny Galladay is scaring the crap out of me with the Detroit wide receivers.
Really? You think he's gonna take away from Tate?
They love him. They
They do.
love Kenny Galladay.
We'll see. We'll see if Stafford loves him. So Ingram, Marshawn Lynch, and Tom Brady is the 3rd quarterback off the board. It's up to us. Again, it's all
up
wide
to
receivers
us.
over here.
Dang.
So we have Allen Robinson, Jimmy Graham, Alshon Jeffries. By the way, Alshon Jeffries, that's another guy that we were talking about. We didn't talk about in the wide receiver thing. He is going to probably start out.
We talked about him in
the wide receiver
wide
part,
receiver
yeah.
ranking,
So rotator cuff shoulder might not be ready for week 1. Yeah. So okay, we have 20 seconds for a pick. Burkhead, Deion Lewis is there.
Deion Lewis.
Okay.
Oh my
Burkhead is the better
goodness.
play, but,
Oh
Deion Lewis.
my goodness. This is just a good
Deion
draft.
Lewis, sixth round.
This
Deion
is
Lewis.
easy.
Corey Davis,
Easy
Jimmy
money.
Graham, Allen Robinson, Hyde, Burkhead, Jones, Russell Wilson, Carry On Johnson.
Russell Wilson was still there?
Yeah, 7th round. That's crazy.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, you never know.
I know.
My Crabtree, Fuller, and now it's us again. So we are pretty well balanced. We have 3 running backs: Saquon, Jordan Howard, Deion Lewis. 3 receivers: Julio, Doug Baldwin, Demaryius Thomas. Up to us again. Alshon's still there. I think people are definitely going to pass on him. He's going to drop a lot from. Where
Yeah,
he
he was our first guy on the bench, so you can wait on him.
So now we're kind of left with Ronald Jones II for Tampa Bay.
Nope.
Greg Olson.
Maybe.
Rashard Penny.
Nope.
Julian Edelman.
Nope.
Cohen.
I don't
Sammy
know.
Watkins, my boy.
No,
Sammy's
not a
still
chance.
alive.
You gotta take.
He might be there in the next.
You
round.
gotta take like Greg or somebody. You don't have to though. Your choice.
I want to wait on. I just want to wait on tight end. I just want to see what kind of tight end. So
You want to wait and get into Njoku, don't you?
well, maybe. So you get to pick. We got Penny, Cohen, Edelman, or Sammy Watkins.
God, I don't like any of those guys.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders is there.
Maybe we already have D. Thomas.
Okay.
You pick, man.
Let's see here. I'm gonna go. I like Penny. I like Penny just because I love Little Penny. Actually, if anybody remembers Orlando Magic days, Little Penny Hardaway. Ooh, that was legit.
Huh?
He don't know nothing about no NBA. He don't know anything.
Huh? This is football.
He don't know nothing about no NBA.
Yeah, because we're playing football.
Cohen, Olsen just went. Trey Burton went. Wow.
People are high on Burton.
People are super.
We
high
told
on
you not to sleep on him. And you're not.
And you're not. Edelman just went. Carson, Drew Brees, and Jamal Williams for Green Bay. Up to us again. Alshon Jeffrey's again still there. By the way, Sammy Watkins is still there. So I'm just saying. Sammy Watkins is there. Evan Ingram.
Oh
Kyle
my.
Rudolph, Sony Michel. Really, I don't. Can Randall Cobb's there? Do you want Cobb?
That's early.
Crowell's there. Crowell. I love Sammy Watkins. We're gonna
Do
go
it.
Sammy Watkins. You know what? I'm making the executive decision on this one. Crowell,
Executive
Newton
decision.
Just went 8th round. If you can get
That's not
Cam Newton
possible.
in the 8th round, do it.
We
should've
didn't.
done
He
it.
didn't do it.
We should have done it.
He blew it.
We should have done it. That was insane.
Could have got Russell Wilson
he's
in the
my
7th
number-
round.
Is he your quarterback 2?
He's
Where's
my quarterback 4, I believe.
Cam is your 4?
No, 3.
Are you sure you know how numbers work? Like
They
1,
go
2,
in
3.
order.
Okay.
Is that how it is?
I
Yeah,
have-
he's number 3 for me.
He's number 3. He's number 4 for me. So I would definitely have. I should have looked a little farther down. That was
Do
my
you know
mistake.
how numbers work?
I don't know. I don't even know how to.
If
draft.
he's there in the 8th round, you definitely have to take him.
And then I
Yeah,
pass
we
on him. Crowder, Wentz
Crowder.
just went.
8 went.
Emmanuel Sanders, Jones 2nd. Andrew Luck went 9th round. Alshon Jeffries, Tevin Coleman, back up to us again. We still have no tight end. Evan Ingram's still there. Do you want to go with him, or do you want to go ahead and try? Because we're in around 9. This is kind of where you just, throw it on a sleeper. Maybe Cooper Kupp, maybe Pierre Garçon, Robbie Anderson for the Jets. I mean, it's basically, it's up in the air on that kind of stuff. Like, this is where you take a chance.
This is where you take the people where you have the special feeling that they're going to do well this year.
This is where you kind of gamble. So
Out of those guys, I would take Cup.
you would take Kupp out of those people.
Out of all those guys, yeah. How many do we need more receivers?
I mean, we're pretty much down the middle on receivers and running backs. So
all right,
let's just take Kupp, Cooper Kupp. It's going to be our dart throw, and then I think round 10 is when we're going to go try tight end. So Kyle Rudolph just went, Cobb just went, Nelson went, Sony Michel just went, Ingram just went, Peyton Barber just went.
Yeah, he's
Robbie
going,
Anderson,
man.
Duke Johnson. So it's basically up to us now. We have no quarterback.
It's
we have
up
no
to
tight
us.
end at this point in time. Funchess is still here. Love me some Funchess.
Funyuns?
Funyuns. Yeah, I'm okay with Funyuns. Reed, Doyle, and Njoku is the tight end. Are the top 3 tight ends available? And
Let's wait then.
Cousins, Garoppolo, and Matt Stafford are the top quarterbacks available. Wait on that as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. We are gonna go Pierre Garçon or Funchess.
You choose, man. I chose Cup.
Okay, I like Funchess.
He likes Funyuns.
I like Funyuns. Funyuns are gone.
That is his actual voice. He was just pretending this whole time.
that is my exact voice. Marlon Mack, Reed, Garoppolo, Njoku.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. So basically up to us now, 11th round. Again, this is 15 rounds, so 15 and 14 is for kicker and defense. So we really have 3 picks. We still have no tight end. We still have no quarterback. So this is probably the time that we go ahead and do that. So tight ends, Doyle Baby Hands, best available right now.
Do it.
We're going to take him. I'm going to take I don't mind that. I mean, you know what? He's not going to get you a lot less points than any of those top guys like Olsen or, Reed or Burt. I think he's going to be right there with
Gronkowski and Baby Hands Jack Doyle are basically the same guy.
Okay, I didn't say Gronk. Gronk is not.
You said top guys.
Gronk is the man.
You said top
He
guys.
is the guy you reached for. Of course we didn't. Stafford, Big Ben, Ty Montgomery. Phillip Rivers just went. Oh my gosh, we got left with.
Phillip Rivers was there. We could have had him.
Yeah,
You're blowing it, man. By
Guess,
the way,
no,
I cannot see the screen right now, so this is all on Eric. He's blowing it.
All of me. But guess who's the best quarterback available right now?
Derek Carr.
If you had to guess.
I've had to guess. Say Matt Ryan.
Yes, sir. We just got Matt Ryan.
That's a horrible
you
pick.
better believe it. That's my boy.
We got the two worst quarterback tight end combination.
So again, in these kind of rounds, this is where more dart throws come. So Benjamin, DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley, Kenny Stills, Adrian Peterson just went.
I'd take those Stills
Nick
just
Chubb
went.
just went in the 13th round.
Don't draft Nick Chubb.
Basically up to us. We have one more
it's up to us.
Position player left, and then we have to go defense and the kicker.
We can do whatever we want.
We've got Parker, Alan Hearns, Junior Bernard is available. That's kind of I love Mixon, so I don't know if I'd go there. But we have Marquise Lee. You want to get Marquise Lee?
Yeah, let's hop on that train.
Booker.
What'd you call
Miller
me?
for Chicago again? Another wide receiver. That's who knows. He could actually be good again. This is where you throw darts at it because most of these guys will be
just
on waiver.
Throw some darts.
Throw some darts and hope that you are correct. Who do you like off Hearns, Hines, Gino Bernard, or Parker? Who do you like? Pick one. Pick one.
I don't know. I would throw a larger dart on my 13th pick.
Pick one. Pick one right now.
You pick out of those.
You pick one. Just pick one right now.
I don't even remember what you said. Just pick one.
Bernard, Hines, Hearns, or Parker.
Who's Hines?
Hines, the running back for Indianapolis that sometimes lines up as slot.
Sure.
Okay. He hasn't done well in preseason, but
that's okay.
Now people like John Brown. Love me some John Brown.
That's what I'm talking about. That's when you should take your dart throw.
Yeah.
Like super dart throw is on your 13th pick. Someone that you are speculating to do great. Like before Cobb started coming out of the woodwork, that was my 13th pick was Cobb, and Eric's was probably John Brown or somebody similar to that where people aren't really looking for them, but they're names coming up in camp a lot, and they are performing very well and have good rapport with the quarterback and could perform great. So that's generally what you're going to do with your 13th pick.
Absolutely. So defense, I put Houston Texans as ours. I think that's pretty good defense. And then it comes back around. Again, kickers and defense are getting drafted right now. You're going to have a few players. Oh, Anthony Miller just got drafted last round. Again, wide receiver for Chicago. Again, dart throw. You're just hoping that it works out and he's the guy, and then you have somebody to put in.
And if not, you pick up a waiver wire and you drop him.
That's exactly right. So kickers left. I'm going to go with KC Buckner just because we're from Kansas City, so that's where I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And the last pick of the draft is Robbie Gould, the San Francisco kicker. So
Isn't it Gould?
A little Gould. Gould.
My goodness.
It's Gould. So here's where we're at.
He loves Gould.
I'm not big on pick six, but if you are, this is,
you don't like pick sixes?
I don't.
You're not a fan of football? You don't like football,
I love
sir?
Pick sixes. But pick number 6 is not my favorite pick.
My mistake.
Saquon Barkley is who we went with. Then we came back with Julio. Again,
Julio.
It was a crazy run. I've never seen this in any draft.
In any draft.
Were
in
backs.
his entire life. But he doesn't draft, remember that.
I don't draft. So then I don't know how that could be possible. So
that's how you've never seen it, because this is your first draft.
Christian McCaffrey went early, second round, second pick, so he was pick 12. That's a lot earlier than I've seen him anywhere as of now. So we went Julio. So we went Saquon Barkley, Julio Jones, Jordan Howard, Doug Baldwin, Demaryius Thomas, and Deion Lewis. Then we took some chances on Penny, Watkins, Kupp, Funchess, Matt Ryan, and Jack Doyle Baby Hands ended up our team with Houston Texans and Buckner as our kicker. So, I think that if you know where your draft position is, it is super vital to do as many mock drafts as you can, because you can't predict what other people are going to do. If you have a huge fan of somebody like Tom Brady,
best to be prepared, or somebody who's a giant fan of a team in general.
And then you're just going to draft Antonio Brown and Juju Smith and
Juju Smith. That's what he said. That's his name. That is literally, look at the back of his jersey. That's what it says.
So you can't predict anything. So you
can predict everything. Can you accurately predict it?
You can't predict it. It's like predicting the weather, right? So you're good if you're like.
Oh, this guy's killing me.
You can't predict it all.
You can predict everything you want.
No, you can't.
Can you accurately predict
You
it?
can accurately.
There you go.
That's true. That is a good point. Yeah. I didn't think about that. I didn't think the hamster fell off the wheel.
He doesn't ever draft, and he can't predict anything, and yet he's doing a fantasy football podcast.
Oh my goodness. So anyways, if you choose to tune in next week, that would be awesome. But if you don't, I understand. Completely understand.
We totally get it.
We totally get it. So that's a mock draft. Please do as many mock drafts as possible. We will have our list up later this week. So
Hard
if you
copy.
do want some tips and stuff, please get on there and check it out. Also next week we will be doing another King segment of best looking receiver.
Best looking receiver on that team.
That we will be doing as well. Anything else? Do you have anything else that you wanted to
No.
cover?
No, that's good.
We're good. All right. Well, that's it for us today. See you guys next week. All right. Have a great day. Have fun drafting.
You guys are going to want to make sure you tune in next week. We have our draft this weekend, Saturday, September 1st. We'll probably give you all our draft results, what position we drafted at, who we liked, who we didn't like, and also we're going to get into daily fantasy football. So make sure you tune in for all the waiver wire pickups, injuries, updates, and much, much more next week. Thanks for listening to this episode of the BFFs Podcast. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the BFFs Podcast, and make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Best Fantasy Football Podcast.